What's the statute of limitations for piracy?
And the reason you have to have Chuck D there is because Chuck D doesn't say anything except the truth.
A nightmare to almost everyone who's ever listened to it.
You know you're wrong if both the witches and the Amish.
You've been singing about semen to everybody.
Like, we just have to keep him alive to facilitate these things?
If you are a Republican, diehard Republican, the election has been moved to December.
Sushi jackknife. 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 Sushi jackknife.
Of nothing.
Yeah.
And now we're in. There we go. We had a count off, everybody, because Nathan has been sending me songs and I've been trying to add stuff to them. And in the old Pro Tools, like you do, you need a little time to get behind the drum set after you hit record.
Well, how much time do you give yourself for that?
Well, you have to figure it out. Thankfully, in Pro Tools, we're rolling now, by the way. Hello, everyone.
Oh, I know.
Welcome to Sushi Jackknife. In Pro Tools, you can really set it for however long you want. I was working for no particular reason, I was working in bars. So it's 8 bars of 120, whatever that is.
Okay.
Before it starts recording. Which, like, bedroom recording, I mean, man, that's a whole thing we could talk about because...
Oh, yeah.
My life of bed and your life, I'm sure, of bedroom recording.
For those who don't know, the world is ending and we're all still quarantined everywhere.
That is correct.
So to keep myself sane, I've been, recording some music.
Yeah, writing songs and recording them.
I hadn't tried bedroom recording in a long time.
Yeah.
It is a tremendous pain in the ass.
It is.
Not just difficulty.
Yeah.
Like, it's not harder to record what I'm trying to record than it is anywhere else, aside from there's one of me.
Right.
And so it's, I will record something, and then I have to stop recording to get up to go listen to make sure that the mic is in the place it needs to be.
That's right.
And then I'm like, well, I don't know if it is. I should move it maybe here.
All right. Yep.
And go back and try it again. And, by the time you got it set up, you're like, well, I'm tired now and I don't want to do it anymore.
Yep. That is the thing you have to fight against the whole time. You're just like, God damn, this is just takes effort, like,
yeah.
And you have to be in your technical mind and in your creative mind at the same time, which can be very difficult, I find.
Oh, yeah.
So where did you start with home recording? Did you have like a cassette recorder or something?
No, I just like I do now, used my cheap, free
software.
Audacity.
Audacity's great, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, at the time, I wasn't using Audacity. What's the statute of limitations for piracy?
Oh, it's over. You're talking about when you were a teenager, maybe?
I don't know if you...
Were you a teenager or early 20s?
Early college.
Okay, early college. So it's been a minute.
I don't know if you remember a thing called torrents.
Oh, for sure. Of course I do. What do you mean, Nathan? Never heard of such a thing.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what the name of the program was. It was Cool something.
Oh, Cool Edit Pro? No?
Yes.
Is that it? Was it Cool Edit Pro?
I think so.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
That I had used in school for radio things.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I can get this for educational purposes.
Sure you can. Uh-huh.
And use that for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, that and pretty much one microphone, right, for you? You plug it in like one mic.
Oh, yeah, one cheap microphone.
Yeah. Yeah.
like one microphone that shouldn't have been used for anything.
Yeah.
I don't even know why it existed.
Yeah, I had one of those too. I had a it kind of concurrently I was using software and I was recording on like 4-track cassette recorder. I had a little Tascam thing, but before that I had like a micro cassette like dictation recorder, and those are shit, but I mean they can be cool, but they can also be shit.
I take it back. What I used first
yeah,
in like junior high or high school was, and this is going to sound really lame, but before I say this, I will counter with, this is very similar to how the Mountain Goats got started.
Oh, really? Okay.
And they're very successful.
They are.
We had a karaoke machine.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
So those were really bad, because that was that was like the Walmart karaoke mic.
Yeah.
Recording into a thing that's really not meant to be recording.
No, no.
So I did forget about those. Man, those I don't think I have any tapes of those. Those were bad.
Yeah.
The recording was bad. The songs were bad. Everything was bad.
I guess if I go all the way back, it started. And if people don't know what I do for a job, is I'm a studio and recording person. So I think it started for me with the Talkboy, actually. So I have my life to thank for Home Alone 2.
I think that really all of us can trace the beginning of our dreams back to Macaulay Culkin.
Right? But I mean, I just thought that thing was so cool. And my friends and I, my cousin and stuff at the time, we made like fake commercials and stuff like you do on a Talkboy, pretended we had like a show. And, all that stuff you end up recording over accidentally at some point. And
oh, yeah. No, with the karaoke machine, because it had a CD player, obviously. And then the cassette recorder, like, before I was ever even trying to do anything with music, it was like, I'm doing a radio show. Here's the song.
Yeah.
Blah, blah.
Right.
And let that play, and for whatever reason, just sit there and let 3 songs play, and then it's back in,
Yeah.
The weather is warm.
Little did you
back
know,
to you.
you were practicing becoming a podcaster. We both were, really.
Yeah.
Like back then. I mean, like that's kind of an extension of podcasting is like a more legitimate form of that, really, in a lot of ways.
And now that's why we sound professional as fuck.
We do a decent job. I mean, I think so. I think we do a pretty good job. But yeah. So the 4-track, which was amazing because you could overdub, right? Like you could record something, guitar, whatever, and then you could do your singing separately or record another guitar, whatever. So I use that a ton, and recorded over a bunch of shit accidentally, and like lost my mind, and
as you do,
you do. And then at the same time, I was using this program, which I think we bought from Best Buy, having no idea really what it was. It was called Acid. And whoa!
I'm just throwing my phone. Don't worry about it.
Okay, good. Acid, and I think it's still around. I think it's owned by Sony now. At the time, I think it was like SoundForge or something like that. But basically, you remember that? You remember Acid?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And you could record in it, but all I had to record with was like the little dictation microphone. It's like the size of a dime, and so I would record little stuff in that way. And then like the thing about Acid is like you could chop up shit and move it around.
Yeah.
And like that was like another way of making music, like right now in like the YouTube like synthesizer world, there's a lot of people doing DAWless jamming, meaning they don't use a computer, because like a lot of electronic music over the last, I don't know, decade or so has been like someone showing up to a gig and just hitting play on their laptop, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so people have gotten away from that, which I think is great. I mean, I love to see someone perform, you know? And so there's this whole DAWless thing, but it's kind of funny to think about, like, back then I was doing DAW, digital audio workstation, with Acid, and then I was also doing DAWless on this cassette machine at the same time, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. You know, but that was, yeah.
So you were ahead and behind the times at the same time.
Yeah. I still feel like that, actually, in a lot of ways. Yeah. Recording, though. It's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. It's exhausting.
It's fun, but it's not necessarily easy, you know?
Yeah.
And it's great when you finish something. That's what's really nice. And you can listen back to it.
See, I have this love-hate relationship with it.
Yeah.
Because it is, as far as music goes, my least favorite part of anything musically.
Yeah.
I'm fine writing the songs.
Yeah.
You know, practicing is fun.
Yeah.
Playing shows like I've done in the past in my life, enjoy that.
Yeah.
The recording, it's just a chore. But you also want to, so that, you know, you at least have record that it ever existed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many different songs I've written in my life that I've just forgotten.
I know, right? I know that same feeling. Yeah. It's like, where did those go?
Yeah.
I always figure the good ones like stick around, like the ones worth remembering stick around. But
I do.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm not a person who believes in fate.
Yeah.
But I will say that somehow the universe, I'm going to give the credit to the universe, has an ability to make me throw out all sorts of random pieces of paper, except like the three that I am like, oh yeah, that's a pretty decent.
Oh, good. See, that's good, Nathan. Yeah.
I just stumble on them every so often. I'm like, oh yeah, that's
song.
good.
Yeah.
I don't know how that piece of paper slid by, but it's still here. So
I obviously love the recording process. I know it can be difficult. I do love the recording process, though. You know, I like playing live a lot, but I do struggle with like actually getting things booked. You know, like that's
I take it back. That's my least favorite part.
Trying to find gigs. Yeah.
Anything promotion related.
Yeah. That's true.
The worst.
It is, because it's like not what you want to be doing. Yeah.
Right. Second is the recording. Not a fan.
Yeah.
But you know, it is, you know, a thing you should do so that you have them.
You got to do it. I was thinking the other day, like, just how lucky I've been since moving to Nashville. Like, maybe this is a no-brainer, but like, I always wanted to be in bands, and I was in a few bands before moving here, and then I just did stuff on my own, which was not bad. That was a lot of learning, but like, there have been so many projects and bands and stuff since I've moved here, and it's great. I mean, we played together in 2 different configurations, and then there have been other things, and then
whatever this current thing is,
whatever this current thing is or is going to be, and it's great. Yeah, I'm happy to be involved. It's a social thing, you know.
I understand the general words. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying.
You know, being the social person that I am, I completely understand.
Well, unless you want to be a solo act, you do have to have other humans involved.
That is true.
Yeah.
And I've done several solo shows.
Yeah.
They're not nearly as fun.
They're not nearly as fun.
it's always just like all right, well, that was one.
Yep. How'd that go?
All right, well, I'm gonna do another one now.
Right.
And then after that, I'll probably do a third one.
Oh, songs? Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay.
Let me know if I need to turn up or anything.
Yeah. Everybody having a good time? No.
It's maybe it's different if you play like music that is very mainstream.
Yeah.
And most people connect with it.
Sure. Yeah.
But I've never done that in my life.
Me neither. Me neither.
And so you do have that feeling of like half of the people going, I don't understand what's happening here.
Yep. Pretty much. And maybe you get like one or two people and you're like, yes, I got them. Yeah. I'm in the same boat. I mean, I have seen people do like covers and shit and nail it, but like that has never been interesting to me, and I wouldn't be very good at it. Like I'm not a cover. I mean, I like to cover certain songs, but even those songs are usually sort of obscure. You know what I mean?
Oh, I've been on a whole spree of what would be the funniest song for me to cover.
Yeah.
To me, I remember all of this is for me. I don't care about anyone else's opinion.
Right.
It would just be very funny to me. And so I decided that the funniest song, keeping in mind for those who don't know, which is most people listening, what I would be doing is playing an acoustic guitar and singing folk punky.
Yes.
I guess
that is what you do.
What we're going to call it.
Yeah.
The funniest song would be the Drake song Started from the Bottom. Even just thinking about it makes me laugh every time. And particularly the part, all of the verses. And the chorus, now that I'm looking at it, I would have to find substitute 2-syllable words to use.
Yeah, right. You certainly would, sir.
And so, naturally, the first word I came up with that makes it even funnier to me is fella.
Fella, uh-huh. That's not bad. That works.
So it would be... Started from the bottom, now the whole team here, fella.
Doesn't really make sense, but whatevs.
No, it's just happening. Fella. So I think that's still the winning, most ridiculous song I could possibly come up with to play on an acoustic guitar.
I was thinking, well, let me tell you my whole thought process here. But the first thing that popped into my head when you said that was like Cher, Life After Love, but then I thought like that could turn a corner and actually be cool. Like if you did it right, like you sang it kind of like deadpan, do you believe in life after love, with your guitar. And
well, what got me started on that was I started thinking about, and I can't remember the band, but it's a 90s band that covered Boys in the Hood.
Oh, wow.
The Eazy-E song?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to see if I can find this. But it's in the least Eazy-E kind of way.
Yeah.
Impossible. And I was like, there hasn't been anybody who's done anything like that. Oh, it's Dynamite Hack. That's who it was.
That was the rock band that covered it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Once I get past this ad. Niggas on the pad going up gang sign. Women in the house to get the clip with my back tent on the side of my head.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's great. That's great. It's so chill.
It's just so ridiculous.
Yeah. It's not a rap song, but the band Soul Asylum, who did like Runaway Train
Yeah.
It's probably their biggest hit. Real kind of grunge. I mean, they're basically a grunge band. They did a cover of Let's Get It On. Wait, is it Let's Get It On? No, it's Sexual Healing. It's Sexual Healing.
Either one's good.
Yeah. It's really good. It's really good. I mean, he's just screaming the whole time, baby.
I think that's something that's really missing these days.
Yeah. I think so too. That would be great.
All cover songs that anyone does lately, it's either a straightforward cover,
yes,
or it's a white girl with a ukulele doing a cover song.
That's true. There's a lot of really boring covers.
Yeah, what happened?
I know. It's everyone. There's I don't know. I don't want to complain too much, but there's like a tendency to take a song that's like a really good song and just like mellow it out and like give it more of a vocal thing, you know? And I don't know. That just never really appeals to me for the most part.
While we're on the subject of covers, I want this out in the universe because I've never discussed this on the podcast, but it needs to be said.
Yeah.
If anyone listening to this is a musician and they're thinking of covering a song,
yes,
and they're going, who is really popular? The Beatles.
Oh, God.
Don't do it.
Don't do
Just
it.
don't do it. It never is good.
No, very, very rarely. Actually, I can't think of an example right now.
I can't think of a good one. I can think of a ton of very bad ones. Especially, one of my favorite Beatles songs is Eleanor Rigby.
Yes, great song.
And people try to cover Eleanor Rigby, and they turn it into these weird, bizarre, modern rock.
Yeah.
Stop it.
No. Eleanor Rigby is perfect, That is a perfect song.
One change you can make to it.
No.
It's so perfect that I, as a person who loves that song, have never even tried to play it because I'm not going to.
Right.
There's no reason for me to play it.
No. No. The only way, and a solo like pop type person couldn't do this. You'd have to have a bunch of people. The only thing I could see cool doing with Eleanor Rigby was like a vocal choir arrangement.
Yeah, that would work.
Classical choir kind of thing. That could be cool. I could see that.
The only thing you can do with it is class it up.
Yeah, that's right. You can't take it down. Yeah.
Like a symphonic version of it.
Totally.
Where a full symphony is doing it.
Yeah.
That would be fine.
Yeah.
A full choral arrangement, perfect.
That'd be great.
Puddle of Mud? No.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing people tend to do with covers, at least in the last, 15 years or something, is the mashup thing, right? Which, I get tired of it. I mean, sometimes I've seen it where it's like, oh, wow, that was cool. But I don't know. I get tired of that too. It's just a stark reminder of how similar songs are because there's only so many keys and chords and chord progressions and stuff,
The worst is when they do like 3 or 4 and you're like, come on, as a person who has written songs, I spend a lot of time going, does that sound too much like this?
Yes
I think it does sound too much like that. Okay, I'm scrapping this entire thing.
I know.
And then that, like, what, so every Weezer song sounds like every Green Day song and we're done?
Yeah.
What is
I know. Well, it really sucks when they start doing that, where there's like so many, and you're like, yeah, I know. But they're not the same song. They are similar. They're not the same song. And they can tease you too long with that too, because you're like, I need to hear both choruses now. Like don't stop fucking with me. I want to hear the chorus. Who knew we were going to tirade about music for 20 minutes? But there you go.
But we need the world needs something.
Yeah, I know.
Good right now.
Yeah,
and I guess my version of good is, yelling at people who probably have never considered writing a cover version of Eleanor Rigby, telling them to stop doing it.
I agree. Also, anything you want to cover on the glass harmonica, I'm good with that. Have you ever seen that instrument? It's you know what I'm talking about?
little bit, yes.
It's like, well, for anybody who might not know, it's like a bunch of glass. It's the equivalent of like having like 35 wine glasses in front of you, and but they're small. They're like little glass bowls, and you have to wet your fingers to play it. Like you literally like rub the edges of it like a wine glass, and it's the weirdest sounding instrument. I mean, it can sound beautiful, but it can also just sound really strange.
It's one of those situations where the first time you see it, not the first time you see a song,
right?
But the first time you see anything happen with it, you're like, "Oh, that's impressive."
Oh, very.
And then the second time, you're like, "I don't care anymore."
Yeah. Yeah. It really only produces that one kind of tone that like, woo, that's all it really does. There's no way to like vary it, Oh, man.
There's very little you can possibly care about with it.
Yeah. Yep. And talking about covers, there was a big thing. It's probably still a big thing. Where I was growing up, there was a lot of CDs of like bluegrass versions of rock music or like mainstream music. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. I'm trying to think of. There's one specific band.
There's one called Hayseed Dixie.
That's who I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Which is they did AC/DC, and then they went on and did. I think it may have been them. They did like Pink Floyd and REM and all this stuff. Yeah.
What I'm trying. The one I heard them do first. Oh, it was a Pink Floyd.
Yeah. I
don't remember which one it was. It may have been Another Brick in the Wall or something.
That's crazy.
Like, this is the weirdest choice anyone could have made. That's acceptable.
It's awesome.
Oddly enough, I'm fine with that.
It's awesome because it's so left field. And
if you can change the genre of music, not slightly change the genre.
Completely
change the genre, I'm all for it.
Yeah, like space rock to punk rock is not far enough. You need to go like way farther.
If you wanted to take the Rush catalog and make, acid jazz versions of it,
yes,
fine.
That would totally
do
work.
it.
I'm totally down with that. Yeah.
Anything like that. Lady Gaga and turn it into thrash metal.
Oh, that would work, actually. That would work great. That would work awesome.
Yeah. Maybe I need to just be, for a living, be like a professional cover song
consultant.
Yeah. I just consult with bands over. I think that's too close to your original genre. You're a punk band and you're going to cover the Ramones? No.
You don't get to do that.
They were a punk band. No. I'm thinking Katy Perry. Go.
I'm thinking Django Reinhardt. Hit it. Go ahead. And they're like, we can't play that. And it's okay. Well, all right. Fair enough.
Is it 4 chords? I can't do it if it's not 4 chords.
Right. There's I have thought for a long time, and someone else will have to do this, not us, and maybe it already exists and I don't know, that a good idea for a podcast would be just a show about covers, because there are a lot of stories, I think, in there. About various songs that got covered. We talked about Always Something There to Remind Me, I think a couple shows back, or at some point we talked about that. That's an interesting one. There's a lot of like country songs that ended up on like that Ray Charles record, Modern Sounds in country music, country and western, or country music, whatever.
There would be a lot of records you could could look at. Bob Dylan's self-portrait record, which is a nightmare to almost everyone who's ever listened to it. I don't know if you could still do this because, Me Too, but Ryan Adams' entire Taylor Swift record.
Oh, I forgot that happened. Yeah. Yeah, he sucks. Yeah.
He's not great.
He was real skeevy.
Yeah, there's that. But you could still talk about the album and then just add a disclaimer at the end saying, also, he's terrible.
Also, fuck that
just
guy.
As a person.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot you could talk about because there have been, and like a lot of songs, especially in the 50s and 60s, like the idea was to get the best cover. So you would everyone would do, like if there was a hit song, everybody on the roster would take a stab at it just to see if they could like catch some of that steam or whatever.
Well, it's weird to think about, like even the Beatles early on were covering Twist and Shout.
Yeah, I heard that yesterday. Yeah,
Kansas City, stuff like that.
Yeah,
where it was it Revolver? Where they finally were like, okay, all original songs. Here we go.
Yeah. Was it Rubber Soul? Maybe
they may have been Rubber Soul.
Rubber Soul. Those were pretty close together, I think.
Yeah, I can't ever remember which one came first. The one of those that came first.
Yeah.
But before that, every album had a cover because that's how you got people to listen.
That's it. Yeah, that was the game, and that's kind of the game again. Interestingly, like. Yeah, so many people get popular on social media and YouTube doing covers. You know?
That's true.
Yeah,
that's how the evils of Justin Bieber got.
That's true.
Onto the world.
Yes, that is true.
And now the world's ending, and it's probably because of him.
Yeah, I'm going to blame it on him. Yeah, for sure.
Actually, I have a theory.
Okay.
On why the world's ending.
Okay.
Not to completely change the subject, but this has nothing to do with the subject that we're talking about.
That's fine. Yeah.
So, all my life growing up,
yes,
I was a Kansas City Chiefs fan.
Okay.
I mean, I still am, but they never did anything good.
Yeah.
They hadn't won a Super Bowl until since 1969.
Wow.
Until it's last year.
Right. Big
February,
moment. Yeah.
right? They win the Super Bowl.
Oh!
A month, coronavirus happens.
That's true.
Now, we have protests and riots everywhere.
Yeah.
The world is going to burn down. It's Patrick Mahomes' fault.
Oh, okay.
It's the quarterback's fault. He did this to the world.
For winning.
The likelihood of the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl was so low that it wasn't even a hell freezes over thing. It was just if that happens, the world ends. That's it.
And that's what we're experiencing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been well, talking about I don't think two white guys need to say too much about the protest, except that right on.
We're on the side of protester.
We're on the side of the protesters. Absolutely. Yes. Protesters, protestees. I don't know. Yeah, we're on their side. It's the things that have the obviously the police brutality and all that's been horrible. So and obviously we've had huge problems with race in this country for a long, long time.
And I feel like this is okay. Not to spend too much time on this, because it's not our place. We're in a listening position, not a talking position.
Exactly. You couldn't have said it better.
Yeah, but this is the thing that drives me insane. How long have we been doing this podcast?
Oh, 5 years. About 5 years. Yeah.
We've had more than one episode where I have spoken at length about how annoyed I am, how upsetting this is with different things involving police and African Americans.
Yes. Yeah.
The main one that sticks in my mind is I can't think of his name now. In Minneapolis, he had the gun, got pulled over, got shot, even though he warned them he was carrying a gun.
Yes.
We had the right to have it, everything.
Right. Yes, I remember that one. I wish I could remember.
Philando Castile.
That's the one. Yep, Castile.
This is point number 2, by the way. I'm going to fast forward to point number 2. Okay. How sad is it that we have to think through the list to figure out which person we're talking about?
That is true.
Anyway.
That is very
Circling
true.
Back.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed.
No.
Hopefully something happens this time that changes. I'm skeptical because I'm a very, very jaded human being at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it to change.
Yes.
But I don't know.
It certainly needs to change. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're right. We personally are in a listening position. Absolutely. You know? Yeah. And supporting, you know, and not letting people get by with bullshit, you know. Like,
well, I need to amend my previous statement.
Yeah.
Because you've made a good point. We're in a listening position, but not a passive listening position.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
Because this is another thing. How many times have we heard people just related to this, but related to the Me Too movement, related to anything, go, now is a time for me to just take a step back and listen.
Yeah.
Like, no, don't take a step back.
No, you need to be there. Stay there. Yeah. Stay where you are. Going
away and listening doesn't help anybody.
Yeah. Right.
Fix the problems that you're near.
Right. And you have to confront the bullshit. Yeah, exactly. You know?
Yeah.
Not that I'm being brave and going out.
For the people.
I know. Yeah. It's not like I'm out there like doing the Lord's work, you know, being, calling people out left and right. I'm not, but if should it arise, I hope I will rise to the occasion. I don't know. I hope I do.
Yeah. And also, and this, I'm just going to put this one out there, and this is the last thing I have to say about it. If you're listening and you're a white person that has at any point in time during this thought, hey, I'm going to go light something on fire.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Don't. Bad white person.
It's not yours. No.
Yeah.
Bad.
Well, and furthermore, I mean, I'm sure you've heard the speculation about, and I don't know what's been confirmed or not, but about a lot of these like white supremacy groups being the ones inciting violence. Yeah.
There are some. The guy in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Who lit the courthouse on fire.
Yeah.
He has multiple tattoos that seem to link him to white supremacy.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah.
Stop it.
I know.
I'm in a listening position when it comes to things involving the African American community. However, I'm not in a listening position for the white people, so stop it.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Don't be dumb.
Yeah. I saw Jen showed me something great online that someone had put together where there were these like Amish people protesting alongside of the protesters, and then there were these witches all decked out in like hats and black, and protesting with the protesters. And the person's comment was like, you're wrong if both the witches and the Amish are not on your side. It's like. And our friends, the Church of Satan, not Church of Satan, not Church of Satan, Satanic Temple. Sorry, I always get that wrong. Yeah, TST. Yeah,
we lost the Satanists, we lost the witches, we lost the Amish. We're done. Our argument is over.
Yeah, that's right. They are all on the side of righteousness. So there you go.
And also. I said final point before, but this is my final point.
Final point, yeah.
It's June. You got 5 months.
Yeah.
Get ready to vote. Just vote.
I know. Everybody vote and your face off. Yeah.
Don't just vote in the presidential part. No. Figure out your local election.
Yeah.
Vote there. It's more important for issues like this than the presidential election.
That's true in a lot of ways, yeah. It's definitely vote. Definitely, if you're leaning towards the Trump camp at all, just don't do that. Do the other thing.
I should have let off with that.
Yeah.
If you are a Republican, diehard Republican,
right.
The election has been moved to December.
That's correct. And you can only vote online.
You vote by hashtagging your candidate.
That's correct, yeah. And as much as the Never mind. I was gonna say the more often you do it, the more your votes you get counted, but I don't want them to tweet more than they already do.
Actually, you lose points if you do it more than one time.
Just one time, yeah.
It divides the power of your vote in half each time you say his name.
There you go. There you go. That's how that works. Very good.
Man, should be in charge of elections. That would be so much better.
Wouldn't that be great? Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like we're just almost there, where presidential elections are held in the same way that like American Idol.
Yes.
Used to be held. I don't know if that even is still a show anymore because they brought it back and then anyway.
Yeah, whatever.
But everyone gets to on one night sit on their couch and get on their phone and call in their vote.
Yeah. Yes.
Would like that.
That would be great.
And then just have Ryan Seacrest live streamed on CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News delivering results.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, just and it's gonna get to a point where Ryan Seacrest can't die. Like we just have to keep him alive to facilitate these things. It's like him and Richard what's the guy's name with Kathy Lee? What's his name?
Regis?
Regis, yeah. It's like him and Regis are like, preserved forever.
You know what? I'm going to take it one step further. Okay. I want him to host the Democratic and Republican primaries.
Yes.
And then just once a week, we have the vote, and he has to tell the person who is eliminated.
I like that. And we'll have Paula Abdul there, too, because I like her.
It's equally as effective as what we have now.
Yeah.
We'll say it that way.
Yeah.
Let Simon Cowell run the debate.
That would be entertaining, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all they are now.
I know, it's true.
You have 2 minutes to explain how healthcare works. Go. 2 minutes to explain what you're going to do for the African American community. Your time began 30 seconds ago. Now.
Speaking of American Idol, I stumbled on this Scottish sketch show today. It was just recommended to me on YouTube. It's called Burnistoun, Burnistoun, and they did like a spoof of an American Idol thing where this Scottish guy comes in. He's got this beautiful voice, but he can't complete a sentence without saying fuck. He's like singing, I think it was Marvin Gaye. He's singing Let's Get It On. He's like, let's get it on. Let's get it fucking on. Just can't. He can't do it. And they're having him read out like, the jog jumped over, that sentence or whatever that you do for elocution.
I feel like there's a chance that's probably happened in the history of that show.
Right? He just can't get through it.
Oh man!
Dude, yeah.
Ryan Seacrest is the answer to all of our democratic needs in this country. I hadn't thought about it until now, and now it's all I'm going to think about.
I like it.
In fact, when I go to the polls in December, if I'm a Republican,
right.
I will be making the recommendation to the people running the voting booth, and so that they can pass it on to their superiors. I'm sure it will get there.
So he would have to have like a governmental position, right? It's a lifetime appointee.
He is Secretary of MCing.
There you go. That's it. Well, he has to share it with Flava Flav, though. I think that's key.
That's true. Oh man,
and Chuck D.
Flavor Flav can be like the deputy secretary.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's the hype. That's what he is. He's the hype man. He's just got to get out there and hype shit up.
Oh man! And now imagine the debates with Flava Flav introducing everyone.
Yes, that
as
would
they
be
walk
great.
out on stage.
That would be great. And the reason you have to have Chuck D there is because Chuck D doesn't say anything except the truth. Like, Chuck D cannot tell a lie. Like, he's...
Just have Chuck D off to the side of the stage during the debate, and they just go to him after each answer, and he just goes, nope.
Bullshit.
Yes. Yes. No.
He's got PolitiFact right in front of him, and he's just...
he is PolitiFact.
He is PolitiFact. He's the human embodiment. He's got a rock solid bullshit meter. Oh my god.
I don't know if you saw this a while back. Speaking of them,
speaking of Public Enemy.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Did you know that Chuck D and Flava Flav don't get along anymore?
Oh, well, I kind of figured. I mean, I wasn't sure, but...
Well, it's a whole thing. It's Bernie's fault.
It's
really.
Bernie's fault?
Yeah, because Chuck D wanted to play a fundraiser for Bernie.
Yeah.
And Flava Flav didn't want to do it because he didn't want to support a specific candidate.
Oh, okay.
And now they hate each other.
Oh, that's a bummer.
It's Bernie's fault.
I kind of see both of their points, though, in a way.
Oddly enough, while I normally agree with Chuck D, I have to side with Flava Flav on this because the stance that they've always taken, you can't really pick any political candidate because they're not going to meet all of your requirements.
Right, that's true. Yeah.
So if you're Public Enemy, and this is the same, I was actually just having this conversation today about Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, yeah.
If you are either Public Enemy or Rage Against the Machine, really picking a political candidate is nonsense because every song you have is about how the entire political system is broken and evil.
Right, that's
so
true. That's true. You can find, interestingly, videos online of Zach from Rage Against the Machine. Zach Della, is it Roach or Roche? I don't know how to pronounce it. The lead singer. You can find videos of him talking to Noam Chomsky, and he's like shook. He's like clearly like a big Noam Chomsky like fan.
That's interesting,
isn't it? And he gets a few minutes to sit there and talk to him, and he's just like he's like starstruck. It was awesome.
Yeah. Well, I was having a whole Zach, what's his face?
Yeah,
was on the newest Run the Jewels album.
He was. Oh, cool.
So that made me start looking up Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
And thinking about how they've done is like very anti-capitalist, music-wise.
Yeah.
Anti-capitalist, blah, blah, blah. But then also their tickets have been sold on like Ticketmaster and stuff.
Well, sure. Yeah, sure.
And you're like,
Yeah.
So, but then you're like, well, Zach, just in the middle of their heyday, was like, okay, well, I'm done with this now.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. Yeah,
and they have for years tried to talk him into a reunion, and apparently no amount of money wanted to sway him.
Right.
So he's like the one person that was like really buying into everything.
Oh, I think so. Yeah,
and everyone else was like, yeah, kind of. Like if someone wants to buy our T-shirt, that's cool.
Yeah. Like their records, like a lot of times would have like recommended reading in the back, like that. You didn't see that in a lot of albums. I thought that was awesome, and I mean, that is some of the. I don't mean hard rock in the bad way, but that is some of the like hardest rocking shit ever. It's so good. Like,
oh yeah.
I don't know how anybody could listen to Rage and not like. I mean, if you don't like hard music, I get it, but like. If you like rock music and you listen to Rage, like there's no way you can't enjoy yourself. It's so good. It's just like and kicks you in the teeth.
And you're listening to it going, man, I want to go punch a comptroller.
Yeah, totally. Like,
just anyone associated with any part of the government, you're like, oh, the mailman's going to get it when he comes down the block.
Where's a lieutenant governor I can assault? Like, it's funny. Yeah, I have these phases, like, because, you know, I don't listen to, like, hard stuff, and I mean, it's all relative anyway. I don't listen to it that often, but I have like periods, like a couple of days where I'll just be like, oh fuck, like I need to listen to Tool, and I need to listen to Rage, and I need to listen to Deftones. I love Deftones. I was gonna go see them actually, and the show had to be canceled, unfortunately. Bummer. And then like I stumbled on System of a Down, which is always like a couple of songs, like for sure. That Toxicity record I think is really good. But I didn't realize they haven't made an album since like 2005. Like,
I saw that at one point because I went on a weird Wikipedia spiral with them.
Yeah.
And there's like weird bad blood between the two guys.
The singer and the guitar player?
Yeah.
Okay, I figured.
The two main ones.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, and they just can't do anything. They were a weird band.
Really interesting band. Really, I think all of them have like I think it's Armenian, have like an Armenian heritage.
Yeah.
And so you can hear like that kind of music, like especially in his vocals and in some of the guitar stuff. And they were a completely unique band in a lot of ways. Completely unique.
Yeah, they're one of those that you still hear a song, and we're 15 years removed from when it came out, and you're listening to it going, that's a weird one.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. I mean, like, even like Chop Suey is a pretty weird song, and that's their like biggest hit. Which I love that song. And then I totally forgot about the song BYOB, which I think is on either Hypnotize or Mesmerize.
Oh, yeah.
Can't remember. That song is crazy because it's like a metal song and like some other kind of song. And then it has this like crazy pop hook that comes in. There's like three main parts to that song. And one of them is just like, and they're making fun of it. Like, I know they're making fun of that kind of music, but they also like just executed like an awesome hook, you know, at the same time.
They're making fun of it, but they had to do it well to actually effectively make fun of it.
Exactly. I saw them one time because I wanted to see, they were the headliner, and I wanted to see Mars Volta. And God, it was probably right in that time period. It had to be like 2004 or 5, right in there somewhere. Yeah,
they were. That was the period where they were huge.
Yeah, no, it might have been a little bit later. It might have been 7 or something. I don't know, but yeah, they were huge. Yeah,
like there was like a 2 to 3 year period where they were the band.
Yeah.
Everyone talked about them. I never really listened to them aside from what was on
the radio.
On the radio at that point.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're everywhere. And then they just weren't.
Yeah. And then they haven't come back. I think I heard that the singer, I think his name is Serge. I think he made some other, I'm sure they've all made other stuff at this point, but I remember hearing, I think he was even on NPR, and he had done like some collaboration where it was sort of like this like electronic thing with like some of that like Middle Eastern music in there.
Yeah.
And I always thought his voice was really cool. It's really different.
I go through periods of time where all of those bands or musicians from when I was in high school, I'm like, what happened to them? Because they just went away. Like I had to look up Nelly the other day.
Oh yeah,
you remember? Like it was the same 3-year span, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Where every album he put out went number 1.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's just gone.
He was totally gone. Yeah.
I still haven't figured out what happened there. He just wasn't popular anymore.
And dude, that's another one. Like there are a handful of Nelly songs that I'm like, fuck yeah, that will still I will still turn on, you know. That stuff on the first record, what was it, Country Grammar, I think?
Yeah.
Yep.
That album was gigantic. There
Huge.
was the year that he put out Sweat and Suit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right.
I remember that being a thing. And those were both, I think that was number 1 and number 2 the same week.
Yeah, yeah. And that all mixes in, like, his first record, that all mixes in with, like, Genuine Pony for me, and Ludacris Pony, dude. Talk about covers. Have you seen, I'm sure you have, I'm sure you've seen Postmodern Jukebox on YouTube. Have you seen them?
Yeah.
That shit is amazing. That's a cool idea, where they do pop songs and other stuff, but they do it in like a 20s jazz style. It's really good. Yeah, and the woman that does the cover, that sings the cover of Pony, is like, she's going for it. It's awesome.
You have to. You can't do Pony halfway.
No, there's no half-assing Pony. And if
go all in.
My smart speaker knows me well, because I'll just say, "Hey Google, play Pony," and she launches. And I just hear that awesome little, I don't even know what it is, that sample that goes bow, 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 bow.
Such a weird song that was a hit.
It's so good though. Like it's like, you could say it's cheesy maybe, but it's so fucking good at the same time.
I love any song that is going to be popular at any sort of club, but to the point that, like, you have upper middle class suburban people
yeah
singing these lyrics that do not fit with them at all.
No.
Just very casually.
Yeah.
Like there's that one, or I'm trying to think what the actual song is. Hold on. Yeah, Lil Jon.
Lil Jon, yeah.
Skeet, 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 skeet.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you just had people everywhere doing that, not thinking about what it is they're singing about.
Right. Right. That's always bothered me, like, inattention to lyrics from the general community, the general, like, population, has always bugged me, because I'm like, do you know think about what you're singing, you know? Like, I don't know.
That song's about semen.
Yeah, exactly. Just getting it all over the place.
I'm sorry to have to be the bearer of bad news for you, but you've been singing about semen to everybody.
Other good examples are that James song, that band James, you know, this bed is on fire with passion and love. The neighbors complain. And then there's, going even farther back, the Kinks, Lola, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, which is a song.
So catchy.
It's a great song. It's a song, but it's a song about a guy who falls in love with a trans person. You know what I mean? Like, written in the 60s. It's fucking fantastic.
But it's just so catchy. Who cares, you know?
I know. It's great. I mean, there's so many examples when you stop and think about it.
Yeah, I think this is the thing that I think will save the country and society as a whole.
Yeah.
If someone can come up with just another hit song that's about Anilingus. We'll say Anilingus. And just everyone is too distracted singing about Anilingus to get mad at other people, or the police stop attacking people because they're busy singing about lick and butthole. Things like that. That will save the country.
The country that was too busy to hate.
Yeah.
They just needed
We're all very focused on one thing.
Licking assholes. Singing about...
Man, I am just full of great ideas tonight.
You know, you got to write this shit down, man. Thank God it's being recorded.
I know.
For posterity here. Posterity.
Preston Anilingus.
Yeah, I think that's the name of our Anilingus song, Posterity.
Yes!
Sushi jackknife.
Sushi jackknife.